So for the last couple of years in this channel, I've made videos such as top 10 books I read in 2014 and top 10 books I read in 2015. And on both of those videos, a lot of you guys have commented asking if I'd ever make a video talking about all the books I've read in one of those years. And I never got around to it because I always forget what books are like after like a couple of weeks. You know, you move on to different things. And if I tried making a video in December about all the books that I've read for the last 12 months, I probably wouldn't be giving the opinion that I had back in January, February, March, etc. So I thought for this year I would make a video every month talking about the books that I read in the month previous. Does that make sense? Yes? Kind of? So this video is the books that I read in January 2016, and now you're gonna know all of the books that I've read in 2016, just in like 12 segments. So enjoy the fun ride. So in the month of January I read 3 books. 2 of them were audiobooks because I'm a busy lady and also I like long showers. Judge me. So the first book that I finished is called So You've Been Publicly Shamed by Jon Ronson. And it was an audiobook and I thought it was honestly such a good book. It was written by Jon Ronson, who is a journalist, and he talks about what it's like when people get publicly shamed, such as, I don't know if you guys remember that lady who tweeted something that sounded really, really racist and offensive before she got on a plane, Justine Sacco, I think her name was, and then like for hours, people were just tweeting, has Justine landed yet? And then she got fired from her job, and it was massive like a couple of years ago. He spoke to her, and it basically just talks about, do we need to publicly shame people? Does it help anybody? Do these people ever recover from it? And from that, I've learned that quote tweeting people who are rude to me on Twitter solves nothing. It makes me look like a dick. And half the time, people aren't even doing it to be malicious, like being rude to be malicious, or if they say something offensive, a lot of the time they don't even realize they're being offensive. And it's just, it was a really, really interesting book. I know I'm not selling you on it. I know that it's not very good review, but I promise you it was really good, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars because I thought it was a fantastic book. The next book I read was actually a physical book. Hooray! 1 out of 3 ain't too bad. And it was Let It Snow by Maureen Johnson and John Green and Lauren Miracle. Is that her name? I think it's Laura. Oh, I hope I didn't get that wrong. I could look it up, but you know, I started reading it over Christmas, but it took me a while to finish it. But it was really good. Let It Snow is basically a compilation of 3 different short stories that all intertwine with each other. They're all set in the same town, and the characters from each of the 3 short stories like intertwine, like meet each other in different scenarios. It was really, really good. I think my favourite one was the first story, which was by Maureen Johnson. And then you had John Green's one, and then you had Lauren Miracle's one. I think Maureen's one was my favourite. But it was a really, really good kind of, it didn't even have to be, hard to explain. It's a Christmas book, but it's also not, you don't have to read it at Christmas, is what I'm trying to say. My goodness, my words have not come out right all day. I gave the book 4 out of 5 stars because I think one of the stories was a little bit weak somewhere in the middle, and I got a bit bored of the book. But overall, it was really good. It was really good. All 3 authors are wonderful, and it's really good and really warming, and it's really good to settle down with like a cup of tea in the bath or something and read it. That's what I ended up doing. And the final book I read in January was actually not one I read, I listened to it. It is called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, and she is the author of a very famous book called Eat, Pray, Love, which I haven't read, but I think it was Carrie who recommended listening/reading to Big Magic. And it's basically about facing your fears with your creativity, not letting anyone say to you, you're not qualified to be creative in a certain way, and it was just about creativity. And again, I listened to it while I was having showers, you know, or in the bath, and I learnt a bit from it. I thought some of her writing and the way she said things, perhaps it's because it was an audiobook, I was a bit like, it was a bit pretentious. I think there were a lot of things she wanted to say, but a lot of her messages didn't come across because she was using so many goddamn fucking metaphors that just annoy the shit. If you've got something to say, say it. Just literally say it. Just get to the point. I don't think you need to go the long way round with things to pad out a book, if that makes sense. But the message was really good, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So far this month I have finished 1 book, I'm halfway through another book, and I'm also halfway through another audiobook, but that one is like 20 hours long, so I probably won't have that finished till like March. I know this was a bit short, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! There we go. Got the last of the out. Okay, bye!